Mentos requires a new invite. I'm going to give him that quickly. That's why you're seeing a blue screen. Oh no, Mentos is already in, according to what I'm seeing. Oh, Dave can't join the session. Oh no. Not again. Oh. Good evening everyone and welcome along to FRL. We are here for Season 13, Round 14 on the Championship here in F1, as we take in, of course, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, otherwise known, of course, from Imola, for the, well, Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. My name is James. I'm going to take you through the stream as per normal on a Tuesday night, and joining me in the comment box, it is, of course, Mr. Michael F. Well, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing really, really well. Hopefully we're going to get everyone in the lobby this time, and it looks as if we could be having a few issues, possibly with Dave joining the session. It happened last week where obviously I think Mentos couldn't join your lobby, and then Dave couldn't join... Oh no, Dave couldn't join your lobby, Mentos couldn't join mine, so we're stuck in another problem again.
We're pretty much stuck with this again.
Yeah, it's just a repeat of last week. It's just the same Tuesday, but just a different week. That's what it is. And of course, we go to Imola, and what we can do, before we begin, of course, is take you through the championship standings. I will keep an eye on the Discord as well for any invites that might be wanted. Baraka, though, leading the way on 186 points. Disappointing race in Monza last week. Jensen in second on 172 points, and he now closes that gap, of course, to 14 points in terms of the championship. Lou in third after a very promising second position for him last week on 107. Zero in fourth on 94. What could have been for him if, of course, he didn't get caught in a bit of contact. Nathan in fifth on 90. Then it's Rocco in sixth on 74. Hammerlinen in seventh on 60. Brock in eighth on 51. Yon in ninth on 49. And Macho in 10th on 48 points. Then we've got Kazizzle, Blackbox, T-Hawk, Henry and Bombastic. Pettervol, Mike, Burrell, Bono and Mika round off the top 20, and then it's Martin, Alien, Kai, Denzo, Wizards, National Jet. So yes, we are still going, given how many drivers we've already had so far in this season. Harman, Surface, Mentos, Ablaze, Nowop, Dave and Dynastics have all picked up points so far this season. But we are here, of course, in Imola, and Baraka obviously taking that 14-point advantage into tonight. Jensen has had the form, though. Third place finished 2 weeks ago in Portugal. A win, obviously, last time out in Monza. Obviously, just going to the south of Italy this time for Imola. How do we see this race panning out?
Well, it's a track that's it's quite not very easy to overtake, obviously, because it's a very old-fashioned circuit. It was probably built for the most smaller cars back in the day, but now we're driving these very big cars since 2017, and coming back here for the first time. It's not easy around here, apart from that pit straight, which the DRS and the overtake are so powerful around here, but it does really drain your overtake also, so you've got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it does, and of course this track layout was actually changed from the last time we came here, of course, in real life, and that was in 2006, and remember the chicane that they had, through the left and right, through 18 and 19, that's obviously been gone now, and we've only got the right-hander, basically going through the final corner, the king through the final corner, running towards the line. We have got 14 drivers in that I can see, and it looks like somebody has not got a name on my screen, which is terrible. Oh, it's Dave. Dave has managed to join in. Mentos is the one that looks like he's having issues now because he's left the session. So, it seems like a repeat again of last week, and I think it's all because of, obviously, this patch update from Jeddah.
Yeah, I think it's between these two drivers again, Dave and Mentos as well. So I think their connection's not really linking up as much, which could be a problem. I hope we don't have the same issue again, because probably have to reset the lobby.
Yeah, if we do reset the lobby, I am keeping on the F1 chat, so if you do want to try and contact me on there, you can. But hopefully, we're going to be getting going first time. 14 drivers currently within the lobby, as you can see on your screen, including two of us in Michael and myself. But will Mentos be able to race on another account? He managed to join, I think, last week under the under his other account. So I think Mentos, if he can join on his other account, that'll probably solve half of the problem. But then we've still got the connection issues that, of course, ongoing. As I say, it's pretty much a patch update related thing. But hopefully we will be able to get underway very soon indeed. But I am keeping an eye on the chat just to see what you guys are saying, of course, in Discord. And as well, I will have a look at the stream chat as well when we do get there. But in terms of the constructor standings as well, and I need to get them back up because I've just remembered that I've just shut the tab down. Just terrible. So I need to get that back up. In the meantime, we'll have a look, of course, at how last week panned out. Lou, of course, took pole position. Jensen won the race, and the fastest lap, of course, went to Baraka. And while my iPad slowly gets there, we will get the constructor standings up very soon indeed. And of course, it is Alfa Romeo after that stunning result, of course, for, I think it was Jensen, obviously, taking the win. 25 points going to them, and 240 points now they are on. AlphaTauri in second on 211, so by my calculations, the gap is 29 points in the constructors' standings. McLaren in third on 161, Red Bull in fourth on 142, Mercedes in fifth on 135, Alpine in sixth on 128, Haas in seventh on 112, Aston Martin eighth on 93, Williams in ninth on 61, and Ferrari in 10th on 39 points. Alfa Romeo, of course, having a very strong week. Can AlphaTauri reclaim their form from Zandvoort? Because that was the last time they outscored Alfa Romeo in terms of the constructors. Obviously, a new driver in Smalley joining the AlphaTauri team. For the for Alfa Romeos, of course, it's Jensen and Macho. How do you see that panning out tonight as well?
Well, with the when you look at the Alfa Romeos, they do have a good, solid package between the two drivers. Both very quick and both very sensible. But with Baraka, he hasn't really had the best luck with teammates. I thought Martin was going to be his teammate, but he decided to go to Ferrari, which is no help to Baraka. So if AlphaTauri does come back, it will be Baraka taking him over the line, which he does truly deserve it for the drive he has put in.
Nathan, by the way, in the comment section, I'm just looking at the YouTube comment section, Nathan's saying, looking forward to seeing what my new power unit can do tonight from the back. And of course, Nathan does have a qualifying ban after what I've got to say, from his standards, is very aggressive driving last week. I said it in his interview, obviously when he finished third, he got demoted, I think, because of that. But Nathan drove a solid race, don't get me wrong, drove a solid race, but there's a line that you've got to try and not cross, and I think Nathan crossed that line, and I believe he has that qualifying ban. I will check the stewards' reports just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw somebody having a qualifying ban in towards tonight, and yeah, it is Nathan with the qualifying ban, and that was for the incident on turn 2, lap 22, and he didn't provide a POV, so that's why he got the qualifying ban.
Yeah, it's crucial to have your POV. I mean, we've seen it with Jacko, who had no POV and had 2 qualifying bans because he refused to serve it. So, Nathan, if you are watching, just double check, do not make a flying lap, otherwise you probably have another race ban under your shoulder. So, and you really don't want that off the pace you've got.
Ooh.
It'll be very.
It looks as if a restart's being called. It looks as if a restart has been called by Jensen. So, Michael, would you do us a favour, possibly, in getting everyone set up into a new lobby?
I'll set the lobby up. Shall I invite you to it?
Invite me, and then we can try and get everyone in. But, of course, we have to go blue screen to try and do that. There is a restart, of course, on the F1. Mentos and Dave having connection issues to me hosting, so it seems that is what the case is. I have seen it before, though, in other leagues, and honestly, it is because of the patch update. There's literally no other way around it. It is because of the patch update. And we just have to try and take it in our stride. But I know Michael is going to get that sorted very soon. In fact, I've just got the lobby invite there now. So, I am going to do a very quick thing and go blue screen for a second while I try and invite everyone in. I think it'll be helpful if I can get Jensen in. That's what I was going to do. That's what I was going to do as well. I'm going to send a load of invites out now. I've still got I've still got stuff from I've still got access from Tuesday session as well from last week, so I can invite literally everyone in. We've got 9 at least in there, so that's quite good. And I'll invite Jensen in, and then he can get the rest in. T-Hawk has also said, by the way, that he can host if needs be, which is very helpful, I think, if we don't get this started, obviously second time around. But hopefully everyone is able to join. And what I will do as well, because I have sent Dave an invite, I will send also Mentos an invite if I haven't already. I think I already have, though. There we go. Yeah, Dave is in the lobby, which is good. That's one thing at least.
Trackside.
But hopefully, a new host might just fix it. Hopefully, Michael will be able to get... T-Hawk will host if we don't get this started this time around. So if we don't get this started this time around, it'll be T-Hawk that'll be hosting, which is good at least, so we can try and do different options. If it comes to it, like we did last week, one of them might not have to run, which is a terrible shame because we want everyone to race, of course, here in FRL. But as I say, it is because of this latest patch update that's caused so many issues, I've got to say, in not only in FRL tonight, LOE on Saturday, drivers couldn't join in that either. So it's just the case of the game. So, if you're listening, Cody's, please fix the game. Like, now.
Car damage rate reduced, just to make sure.
Yep. I think so, unless it's standard.
Car damage standard. Yeah, just making sure of these things, because you know what happened in the last few weeks. There's always one setting that's always out of place.
Yeah. Just seeing everyone joining in from my end as well. We've got 10 drivers in. You need to go spectate mode as well, but I'm sure you're busy with the settings at the minute. Mentos can't get in. So Mentos can't get in. Dave is in this lobby, but Mentos now can't join. It's stupid, honestly. It is absolutely stupid. So I think, T-Hawk, if you're listening, we might need you to host, I think. See if that works.
Well, T-Hawk, if you are watching, make sure you send them to an invite first in particular, just to make sure they can get in. Because it seems like the last 2 weeks it has been them, but it's mostly Dave inconsistently with his connection issues. But again, it could be something to do with the package from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think it is, to be honest. It must be. T-Hawk's just left the lobby, so I think the new invite is going to be given out very soon indeed, and I'm sure Jensen will probably get in that invite as well. We may as well have the problems now, is what I want to say. We may as well have the problems now. Try and get it sorted before we begin. Because otherwise, obviously there's another glitch where you can't join qualifying because it glitches the lobby all entirely, and we saw that in TTML not last Sunday, but the Sunday beforehand, and it was absolutely ridiculous. We had to start the lobby 3 times. So I'd rather obviously get everything right now, or get everything as close to right now before we begin. So there is a little bit of a delay, but hopefully we'll be getting going very soon indeed, which I'm hoping everyone will be able to race.
Yeah, hopefully we can actually get going before 15:15 at least.
Yeah, which I think it's not too bad. I mean, we can... It is nearly, well, it's 7:10 now, UK time, so I'm hoping that, obviously, everyone will be able to join. And if it's as Jensen said in the chat, in Discord, if it is an ongoing issue, we can't really do much about it, that's the thing. So, either or, one of these drivers is not going to have to race, which is the most heartbreaking thing, because we want everyone, of course, to race. I've just realised, by the way, that T-Hawk did have player car there on the settings. Which I think he's now removed.
No, he's still there, but I think he's sorting out the track settings and all of that stuff first before everyone gets in their car. But I think he's more focused getting everyone in the lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, Cheto's in, Smalley's in. I'm gonna get the play together list up again and see who can join. There's Henry in as well. Baraka's just joined. In fact, most of these guys are joining, which is quite good. I have got the rest, actually, to join. I've got the rest of the 7 that aren't in. So those invites have been given out as well. So hopefully everyone will be able to get in, and hopefully we can race this time, because if we can't, then we can't really do much about it.
Yeah, we'll have to just go straight in. But T-Hawk, I did said if you are watching, make sure you add Dave and Mentos in first.
He said in the Discord.
Oh, did he? I wasn't looking, so I apologise.
Yeah, he said in the commentators Discord, we've got access to the commentators Discord and FRL, and he said, you two handle the invites, I've invited Dave and Mentos. It looks like as well, obviously Jensen can help. Mentos is in, so Mentos is in, which is good. Will now Dave be able to join? I'm looking frantically at the F1 chat, and he hasn't responded just yet, or now he's actually typing, and Dave should be coming in very soon. It looks like this could work, so it might just be the case of the host, which is me and you. So we might need T-Hawk to obviously host the lobby every week. Ah, he's getting kicked from the lobby. Dave's getting kicked from the lobby, so he can't. It seems like he can't race. But Mentos is in. This is weird. It's just ridiculous.
Define being kicked, because when you said being kicked, you're literally being kicked from the host. So how can you be kicked when you're not even in the lobby yet?
He's either getting kicked from he's getting kicked from the lobby, so when he attempts to join, his connection obviously I don't think is good enough for him to join the session or join up to T-Hawk's connection. So that's what it would be. So say for example he could join to mine because my connection was stronger. He could join to mine, but he couldn't join to yours, and he can't join to T-Hawk's. But then Mentos can't join to yours either, and then sometimes he can't join to mine. So it's a bit weird. It's all to do with like local servers. Yeah, we don't really need to go into this on the FRL stream, but I think that's what it is. Mentos is in, so at least that's something.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's great news, because that means one driver will have to stand out, which is unfortunate, but what else can we do? We're not here to improve your connection. That's your situation that you need to sort out, which it's not great, but we've tried so many options tonight, and I hate to say, but we really do have to get going.
Yeah, we do have to get going. Obviously, it's our choice of whether we want to run this race, of course, or not. But I think definitely is the case. We should have to try and get going. I mean, I even set up the lobby 25 minutes early, and then we still had issues. So it's not really a case of timing or anything, but yeah, these things happen. These things do happen, especially on this game where I think obviously the game is a bit broke, and I think the lobby system is a bit broke as well. But hopefully we'll be able to see what is going to be happening with Dave. He can't join, but yeah, I feel sorry for him. I really do. Well, we feel all sorry for him not being able to join. Martin's just joined the lobby in as well, so that's 14 drivers I think we're now up to, which is good. And it looks as if we're close to getting going without Dave, which, as I say, is really unfortunate. But sacrifices do have to be made sometimes.
Yeah, we do, and then you can join. So I'm just looking at the F1 chat myself, and I'm just keeping an eye on the conversations as it's going. Quite berserk in this chat. If anyone's new to FRL, don't worry. We don't normally have this kind of issues regularly. I think we have one or two upsets, but having it 2-3 times in a row, it's very unlike FRL. But hopefully this will get sorted, as the drivers again on my screen are getting quite impatient.
Well, they are getting very animated, I think. They want to try and get underway very soon, because obviously people will be missing I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here later on at 9:15.
Yes.
And of course Imola does take quite long in terms of the racing. It's something like 50 minutes I think in terms of a race around here. Of course with the short qualifying we do have to get going, and it's so, as I say, I'll keep on going about this all night, but it's such a shame that Dave can't join. It was the same if Mentos couldn't join, it'll be the same if anybody else couldn't join as well. But hopefully this will be the time where we say go. Hopefully this will be the time where we do get underway. And of course we have to take in the Imola circuit, to give it its full name, the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, based of course in Bologna in Italy. 3-mile track, 4.9 kilometers in length, 19 turns awaiting these guys out on track, with the 2 DRS zones of course, 1 down the stop finish right down in towards Tamburello at turns 2 and 3, and also 1 down in towards, and I'm trying to think where the other DRS zone is around here. There is another DRS zone around here, isn't there? I hope.
One. No, that's it.
Just the one.
We only have one. Yeah, we just have the one.
I thought there was 2 around here. Goodness me! It's because I can't see the official F1 track map. That's what it is, and I'm on another different track map, and it's literally got no DRS zones, no corner names whatsoever. Ah, Dave has joined.
Dave's in.
Dave's in.
Right, come. Right.
Go quick.
Get your car,
go.
Dave. Right, go.
He's in. Thank goodness for that. It's probably the best celebration we'll have all night. Dave has managed to join the lobby. And this should be it. This should be the time now where we say go. So it looks as if whatever this connection issue is seems to have sorted itself. He's on a 4-bar connection for me. It's only Baraka that's on a 1-bar. Let's get going. Let's get the racing underway.
Yeah, I've only just got the 1-bar, but everyone else is on green on my screen. So, but yeah, Dave, what are you doing, you melon? But well done for getting in, for committing as well. So
thank goodness.
To be honest, none. I think any other league or any other league in this one, F3, F2, F4, I think we would have started without that one driver, so you're very, very lucky to still be in here.
I still have a feeling something is going to happen when, of course, we're loading into the lobby now, but we are here, we are back. Of course, here in Imola, you can see the beautiful circuit on screen. I believe F2, if I'm not mistaken, is also having issues, or there's no stream. I can't see an F2 stream on FRL Live at the minute. And yeah, there's no FRL F2 stream, by the looks, at the minute. I'm not sure if they've got underway. I think they have. But there's no stream.
I'll double check in the chat if they got any issues.
There is no stream. Stephen couldn't log in. And Ballboy couldn't log in either. So, if you are tuning in for F1 tonight and expecting an F2 stream, then unfortunately, there will be probably no F2 stream unless it's getting recorded and then re-uploaded later on the channel, which I think is probably the best. But it looks as if everyone's in. 15 drivers about to do battle, of course, around the Imola circuit, and I've got to say, this is one of my favourite tracks on the game. They've done such a good job with this track once again. Same with Jeddah, same with Portimao, the new tracks that have been added on, which is fantastic. And it looks like, actually, the first cars are coming out on track now, so no minute glitch for the first time in ages.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really seen the minute glitch on my part of the video. I don't really look at the clock when you see it come out, but yeah, both Alfa Romeos, they're always the first one out there, which is a good thing to see, especially if this is their, let's say, second home in the Italian area. But yeah, this is a fantastic track, a very old school type of track, especially with the curves as well. They are very deadly. I think they're the deadliest curves on this game. But when you get that lap hooked up, it is really fun. It sort of brings back memories as well for any older viewers listening in.
Yeah, I used to drive the track when the classic tracks got released on F1 2013 on the PS3. That's where I was back then, and Imola was one of those tracks. So Imola, I think, honestly, looks so much better on this game than it did on F1 2013 when it was last in an F1 game. Macho was the first man out on track. He is coming up the hill in towards Variante Alta, and this is through turns 15 and 16. There are quite a few Italian corner names, by the way, around this track, so don't forgive me if I get some of them wrong. But I will try my very best, and he's now on the run down in towards the kink of 16, in toward the double left of 17 and 18 at Ravazza. This is the bottom of the hill with the houses to the right-hand side. And now, Macho, as I turn off the timing screen to the left-hand side, is going to start us on the lap through the kink of 19 across the line to start us on this lap. Then we'll reach in excess of 200 mile an hour on the run down in towards Tamburello, where Bottas and Russell, of course, came together earlier on this season. But Macho now in towards turn 2 and turn 3. Through now turn 4, Mika has retired out on track, if I'm not mistaken, or he's retired on the pit lane, I think. But Macho now in toward the Villeneuve chicane, takes the curb very nicely, runs out wide slightly, nearly invalidates, but now in towards Tosa corner at turn 7. And this is looking quite good, actually, for Macho through the first sector. Purple through the first sector, and actually it looks like he's backed off. And is he going to give Jensen maybe a bit of a run later on in the lap? I'll try and flick on board with Jensen quickly. He's on a set of mediums.
Yeah, but he is faster than Macho, and Macho was going quite pacey in that first sector, but it looks like Jensen's backed out as well.
They're both backed off, unless it's to get a bank lap, and I know how hard the curbs are coming through the middle sector. It might be the case of that, but yeah, it is very strange. But Jensen is not on a lap, Macho is not on a lap either. I'm flicking ball with Macho there, but both of these look like they're setting bankers.
Well, I'm on board with Lee, who's actually further down the road, probably away behind some other cars, but he is on a fast lap as I see, and he's gone purple so far in the first sector. Coming up this hill, I don't know what these corners are, so I do apologise, but the fast left, right and left, but he's got a car in his way, and that's Baraka. Gonna have some dirty air coming out, but he should be okay with T-Hawk with a 114.7 on the soft tyres, back in the Red Bull actually, which is fun to see. But it looks like this lap from Lou's not being affected by the dirty air of Baraka.
Oh,
Slightly wide though. Anyway.
Invalid.
Yeah, I think he did get held up by Baraka in the dirty air, and I think he was just too committed. But luckily he got into the pits straight away. But you got to be careful coming into this pit lane because the pit limiter is pretty much right there when you come in.
Yeah, it really is. Henry's coming around the final corner. He's invalid on a lap as well. National Chatter though goes to the top of the standing. The Bulgarian, 14.4. As Smalley is second, T-Hawk is in third. Harmon is coming around the final couple of corners through Avatsa at turn 18, and then in toward the kink, of course, of turn 19. Going to go close to pole position, I think, as he comes across the line. In fact, nowhere near in the end. What does the commentator know? 115.1 across the line. Macho was up on a lap as well. He's coming through Avatsa. Both of these look like they're getting one lap, certainly one lap in, and then they're going for their flying lap, which is quite interesting. A really neat strategy is Macho now runs the line, and that's why he goes pole position. Jensen on that turn of mediums as well. He's 1.4 seconds up, but I think actually he might have either backed off in this final sector, he's going to set a lap, or he's going to run out of fuel and come toward the line, and in fact he's coming into the pit lane. So Jensen is into the pits, but Macho out on top. 2 laps of course on that sort of soft compound tyres, and that was an interesting tactic to be honest, because both of them backed off their laps. Macho went for another one, obviously must have had a high fuel load, and that's why he decided to go for one. He's a 10.5 ahead of Cheto.
Yeah, but I think Jensen was going to go for a flyer, but I think he got hauled up by T-Hawk in the middle sector, so I think that's why he dived into the pits, which is unfortunate for him. But I would see Rocco, who's on a flying lap now. He's on a 34.6 at the minute, so he did a slow banker lap like Macho and Jensen did, but now he's up on his time. He's even purple in the middle sector.
He is purple in the middle sector, and we'll have to see, who was it again? I've just lost my way. Rocco through the middle sector, down into the batter. Oh, literally just like it glanced over me who you were riding on board with. Rocco's coming across the line. Oh, he's on the run to the line now in the McLaren. Don't think he's going to go pole, but he goes 7th, 14.9. Not a bad lap there from Rocco, of course. This track will begin to evolve as we go through the session. Martin is on a lap as well for FVR, and of course FVR competing tomorrow night in EML. And I think Martin might actually be one of their drivers, if I'm not mistaken, in EML, which I'm covering, of course, for Premier at 8:30 on the League Racing TV channel. But Martin coming around the final couple of corners through Ravatsa at turn 18 and runs towards the line now at turn 90. This is a good lap for Martin. Runs the line, goes top, 14.2, only 1500ths of a second ahead of Macho. Baraka there in third as well. He's run out of fuel on his lap. Mentos has spun coming through Aqua Minerale. So Mentos has spun coming through there. Rocco was down on the lap as well. Henry not on a lap. And it doesn't look like we've got many drivers on a lap, apart from Lou, who's just starting on one on a set of mediums.
Yeah, I'm just on board with him now. He's on medium, so he'll probably be around... I'll probably be around T-Hawk or P10 sort of pace, so not really too much up the road. But he's got a nice clean track ahead of him. And this corner here is quite an awkward corner here. Like some people lift off, and some people just like get hard on the brakes and then turn in. So it's quite an awkward corner to judge this one particularly. But the rest is all pretty stat forward, as he's done a pretty good, decent set for a medium tyre run. So this is a good lap so far. As long as it doesn't get any traffic down here, and he's got invalid again. So he hasn't really got a good setup in the front rear rise anyway, if that's a sentence. Basically, he hasn't got grip on the front tyres, I don't think, which I think he needs to get those up to temperature. As Macho, he's got a 5-second penalty.
Lane. That's out the pit lane, and there's a Mercedes behind him, so Macho, I think, Either went in AI mode or was just completely parked in the pit lane exit, realised that there was a car coming up behind him, and I think that is a Mercedes of... It's not Dave, it must be Harmon. And actually, I've got a bit of a glitch actually, I can't go on board with him. I cannot go... Oh, there he is, he's in the pit lane for me, it says, on the left hand side, which is weird.
Well, on my screen, I can't go up further than Jensen.
Yeah, go the other way. Go 15th to 1st, basically. Go that way on the right-hand side, and you should be able to get to him.
Right, okay, yeah, I can do that, and I can go all the way down.
I can't ride on board with him.
But when I can go back to Jensen, it's stuck on Jensen. On the other way. But yeah, that's just weird. Sorry, viewers, that this is very confusing. But this is quite bizarre to us, which I think it all started off with Macho's apparently blocking, but I don't... How could you block someone if you're...
We've got a major glitch on our end. I've just seen Lou coming through the first... Look at Lou's first sector time. For me, that was 2 minutes through the end of the first sector. Just coming up now. He's back into the pit lane. Oh, T-Hawk's left the session. So T-Hawk has left the session. And that is why I think we couldn't go on board. Now I can. Henry's now back out on track. Harmon there in 9th, he's just coming across the line 15.1. But T-Hawk has left the session. Martin then out on top, Macho 2nd, Baraka in 3rd. Goodness knows who's now the lobby host. But it seems like everyone has now suddenly fixed itself, which is quite strange.
Yeah, but I don't know how that could be T-Hawk's fault of the air. I mean, that's a very rare glitch you see. But, yeah, and that's a very rare penalty as well. Like, how could you block someone coming out of the pit lane when they're not even on a lap?
Oh! As Nathan has retired, I think in the pit lane, as now Macho coming up the hill in towards Aquaman, through Varianta Alta, is 2 tenths up.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to see if everything was alright on my side. So I'm sorry about that, but Macho is faster in the middle sector. So he's definitely improved. Probably could be pole position at this stage. Well, when you say pole position, he will have to take a 5-place grid penalty, which is quite unfair for him. But,
nice lap.
It goes pole position for now, and that's a very good lap. And that could be very frustrating from Macho's point of view, as we see yellow flags as that the McLaren slowing down. And yeah, I don't know what happened to Lou either. I was running on board with him, and then he suddenly just jumped into the pits. I don't know if that was him in control or that was our end.
Might have been our end, it might have been the whole send, I don't really know. Smalley, however, is on a really good lap here. He's on the run to the line, and he goes 2nd, 14.2. Really good improvement in that middle sector. He was 4.5 tenths up coming through the middle sector. Could have found a lot more time in the final sector, but he didn't. So Macho's out on top, Smalley 2nd, Martin in 3rd, Baraka's in 4th.
Dave spun in the first sector, pretty much where the great end centre lost his life. Yeah, somehow he lost. I think he lost it on the second curb as well. The way he's rotated. Luckily, he's managed to get back safely.
What?
And no reason.
Henry's just gone 3rd on a set of mediums. A 14.2 on a set of mediums.
And only for like 3 tenths off pole as well. I think would that be the original pole as well before Macho done that time? So yeah, that's some incredible stuff from Henry. And he's in a good prime position, especially when it comes to the start of the race, when it gets all tight and twisty.
Oh.
So he's going to be very, very good when it comes to the start of the race, as Rocco is on a flying lap, I believe, and he's in 9th position. He's to improve, and he's going to go out. Okay. I think on my time screen he was on a flying lap, and now he says he's on an out lap, so...
Yeah, he also said that on mine.
Bit of a weird one.
Don't worry, we're going through the same problems here tonight. Don't worry at all.
This is not going well for FRL type of split, but I think Baraka's on a lap, and he is.
He's just backed off one.
Baraka?
Yeah, he's 500 up actually. Yeah, sorry, he's 500 up coming through Piratella. On the run down in towards Aquaman Minerale. He was on a lap. He did improve actually at 14.1 just before that lap. This lap he's on. Davis crashed at the top of the hill, but Baraka was 2 tenths up in towards Varianta Alta. On the run now down in towards Ravata. This is looking like a very quick lap from the Spaniard. Can the championship leader find something? Jensen's down there in P12 at the minute on a 1:21.3. I think he's just started up his lap. But Baraka coming around the final couple couple of corners through Ravata, on the run to the line, taking as thin a line as possible to the line, and he does go second. He does improve on his lap time, doesn't improve his position, but he's only 300ths of a second off Macho.
Yeah, that could have been pole position. I think he still could get pole. I mean, if you looked at his battery supply in that last sector, he only had 6%. So how on earth did he get second place and hold it in that last sector? So that's incredible stuff from him.
Yeah, really good improvement from Baraka. Jensen on the lap as well, on the run up in towards Piratella. This is through the fast left-hander, of course, before the Aqua Minerale section. And now, on the run down in towards Aqua Minerale, there is a yellow flag out there. I think it's Baraka who's just backed off his lap. Jensen misses the curve coming through Aqua Minerale. Actually gets a really relatively good run out. And it's a 49.4. He's 4.6 seconds up on his lap time. Final sector, he must have back off. So we're going to see a big improvement here from Jensen, perhaps, on the run now towards Ravata at turns 17 and 18. T-Hawk, by the way, needs another invite. If you could do that now, that would be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you'll be able to join in qualifying. But Jensen now on the run towards the final corner. He's running out to the line. Is he going to go top? No, he's a little bit off the pace. 14.1. I mean, he's third. 14.1, but Baraka is ahead of him. His championship rival is ahead of him. Second position for him. Jensen there in third. Mentos is not on a lap either. Looks like FRL Martin is coming around the final corner just to set up on a lap as well. But Macho's out on top. Baraka second. Jensen in third at this stage in qualifying with, I don't know how many minutes to go because the yellow flag is out in sector 2 and 3. That should hopefully get rid of very soon indeed. That's what I'm hoping at least. So I can commentate on how much time we've actually got left. But Martin is on a lap, however, down in towards the Villeneuve chicane. And now he's coming towards the end of the first sector. It's looking like a very clean first sector so far from FRL Martin. And he's a 10th up coming through the first sector. And he's purple out of everyone through the first sector as well. So as the track evolves, we should be seeing some relatively good improvements. The yellow flags, by the way, are for Mentos coming down in towards Ravata.
Yeah, I think he's coming into cruising lap. I was just trying to find get T-Hawk an invite, which I have sent him 2 invites. Unfortunately, he hasn't joined yet, so I hope he can join because that's not fair on him. But yeah, but don't forget, Match's got Martin went wide, but he's invalidated, so he's not going to keep that, unfortunately. But yeah, don't forget, Match's got a 5-second grid penalty as well. So is Baraka Jensen in the top 2 space at this stage of time? But keep an eye on Henry as well, because I'm pretty sure he's going to come out on his soft tyres, and he did do that time on a set of medium, so he's got a good chance of pole here.
He's just informed me in the Discord it was on a set of soft compounder tyres, so we've got to spectate the glitch, it seems. And now he is coming out the pits on a set of soft compounder tyres. So I don't know what's going on, to be honest, but Henry's coming out the pit lane on a set of softs. So he is probably going to be one of the first men, of course, to come onto a lap. I think Macho was out there just starting up on a lap, actually. Mercedes off the left-hand side of him is Harman, and Macho through the Villeneuve chicane invalidates.
Yeah, but I think he's got enough chance to go for another run at least. This could be his final run. Baraka has just come out, now just gone board with him. And so is Jensen as well, so they're going to come out literally at the same time. As Smallin is on a lap now, I believe. A little bit shaky in the first 2 corners, and I think that's why he's backed out. Yeah, but to be honest, I don't really know what tyres of these people are on anymore. They could put on a set of wets and they could be softs. I mean, Henry's revving his engine out. That could be him, or that could be a glitch. I don't know. This has not been a normal lobby for our point of view. Like, quality could be over at their point of view.
Yeah, I'm seeing F2, by the way. I think F2 was having to restart their lobby as well due to lobby issues joining in qualifying. So, hopefully, it is going to be the case where we're going to be going first time. Lou is on a lap, by the way, down in towards Aqua Minerale, through the right-hander, and then through the left-hander, coming up the hill, now in towards Variante Alta. He's got a car ahead of him, but this is a quick lap from Lou. He's a second up through the middle sector, and now coming out of Variante Alta, very nicely done indeed. Smalley gets out the way to the left-hand side, and now he could pick up a very faint toe while running down the straight, but T-Hawk has managed to rejoin the session, which is good. Lou, however, on a very quick lap, as he now comes down in toward Ravata, through 18, and then of course in towards the kink at 19, absolutely on the limit in terms of the curbs. I think this could be pull, coming across the line, he does go pull, really good lap by Lou, 13.9, it looked on through the first sector, it looked on again through the middle sector, and he improves ahead. Macho's through the end of the middle out of the end of first sector, and he's 400ths down, but he's on the run in towards Piratella, so I'm going to run on board with him.
Yeah, he's got a clear head in front of him, so he's got no traffic whatsoever. This is really crucial. Macho really needs us to have damage limitations on that 5-second penalty, which 5-place grid penalty, sorry, which he did not deserve.
Oh, how's he still 400ths down? He's set the same. He's literally set the same first and sector middle times, is what we can see.
Yeah, but this still could be on for pole if he matches last sector. There's still nothing between first and second, but here he comes.
That was quick.
I think he might do it. Will he get the pole? Yes, he does on the final run as well. But at the moment, Lou is actually on pole for his pole. But here's Baraka on a flying lap, but Jensen backed off. He's not on a flying lap, and so is Baraka actually.
Yeah, Jensen's invalid. I think Baraka's invalid as well. Smalley's coming around the final corner and he's just invalidated out of Ravazza as well. Jensen not on a lap. Baraka was invalid, and now Henry around the final corner in the Aston Martin. What can he now do? Is he going to go on to pole position? Runs to the line. Very close indeed, goes fourth. Martin is on a lap as well, 700ths up. Mentos cutting through Variante Alta. He's purple in the middle sector, so watch out for Mentos as well. Both Ferraris could be flying here, and the Tifosi could be going maybe even 1 and 2. But FRL Martin coming out the final corner, he's on the run to the line. I don't think it's pole position, runs to the line and he goes fourth, and he goes ahead of Henry. Mentos is up by 2/10 and he goes third, and that's pretty much the end of qualifying as Rocco doesn't get a lap in either. But Macho out on top, how close that is, 8,000ths of a second. Mentos has came in third, 1300ths of a second separating the top 3, and just over a 10th separating the top 6.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable lap, and just that is a crazy grid just to look at as well. I mean, especially with the Ferraris up there on their second home turf as well. So what a great performance from the Ferrari, and obviously with Macho with the 5-place grid penalty, that's going to make the gap between Baraka and Jensen even further, because I think he's going to push Baraka up, but I don't think he's going to push Jensen up.
Yeah, Mentos saying so close to pole position. Macho, of course, with that 5-second penalty for illegal blocking, actually puts Lou on pole position. So it's actually Lou on pole position, Mentos a second, Baraka third, FRL Martin in fourth, and Henry in fifth. Macho then drops down to sixth. He'd be disappointed about that illegal blocking penalty, but he did block Harmon. I think it was coming out the pit lane. It was one of the Mercedes. Henry down there in, obviously, fifth position, then it's Macho, then it's Jensen, Smalley, National Cheto and Harmon run off the top 10. T-Hawk in 11th with Rocco in 12th, Dave in 13th, Mika in 14th, Nathan in 15th position, of course, from the qualifying ban. Mika and Dave, of course, not setting any lap times in. Macho though out on top, but he doesn't, because he gets an illegal blocking penalty and he's down in 6th position, which means Lou is on pole position.
Yeah, fantastic lap by Lou. Pretty much a one-shot lap as well, because he was at the back of the timing sheets, as we did see about with 2 minutes ago. So yeah, that was an incredible one-lap wonder from Lou.
It was indeed, and now we come into qualifying. At the end of qualifying, we now come, of course, in towards the formation lap, and hopefully, we're not going to have any glitches. I'm going to tempt fate by saying that. Hopefully we don't have any glitches. T-Hawk left the session, managed to rejoin safely, so he's now back in the lobby. I think he won't be able to take control of his car, however, until they basically start the race, because I don't think you can take control of your car on a formation lap unless he managed to join and then take control of his car in the pit lane. But we are waiting for players, and I think we've got a glitch.
Yeah.
Oh, 30-second countdown's back on. What?
I don't know about your screen, but I don't have any drivers' names on my screen.
Neither do I. I just have the 30-second countdown. I'm waiting for players on my screen at the minute. I think the 30-second countdown is on, though. We're about 10 seconds out, I think, from actually getting this formation up underway. But we have to, of course, talk about this track, Imola. It can catch lots of people out. It looks like everyone had readied up in time. The formation lap is now beginning. Everyone is managing to get off the grid, at least, which is positive. Everyone though, top 10, qualifying on a set of soft gun banner tyres. I think T-Hawk, because he couldn't take control of his car, yeah, he's on a set of soft gun banner tyres. Everyone else is on a set of mediums, and I'll check with T-Hawk's car. Oh, and actually, he hasn't moved off the grid at all.
No.
Oh, now he is.
But that looks like the game's taking control of his car, actually.
Almost, unless he's let everyone go. Oh, he's left the session, that's probably why. So he leaves the session. We have got a new lobby host, by the way. I don't know who it is, but we have got a new lobby host. Lou out on top, Mentor second, Baraka in third. 32 laps awaiting these guys out on track. And for the love of God, I'm hoping no more glitches.
I'm hoping so too, but I don't know if the damage is pretty much done, but it's quite survivable, to be honest. Because like we're having problems. Like we don't know if anyone's in the same sector or not, but they could be in. They could be in one sector, but realistically they could be in another. So we just don't know. Hopefully we can actually just get to the finishing line and see what happens from there.
I really hope so. I'm keeping an eye on Discord as well in case anything is contacted there. Oh yeah, T-Hawk was still loading apparently on their end, which I think is why we saw two 30-second countdowns come up on my end, certainly. But hopefully this is it. Hopefully this will be the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, to give it its full name, of course, here in Imola, about to get going. And Michael, I am going to come across to you. Hopefully we're going to get this first time around. Mentor sliding at the final corner. Who on earth for you is your top three?
I think Baraka might get it, and I think Mentos might hold on for P2, and Henry P3.
Interesting. I think Baraka could be the one for the win here. I think Baraka's got a hell of a chance. I think Jensen's going to finish second. I think he's going to have a strong drive tonight, hopefully within championship fight as well. And for third position, as a predicted pit stop strategy comes up. Oh, and it's actually raining out on track, I think. Oh, no, it's not. That's my eyesight. I thought it was raining. I could see little flashes of grey coming down on the left-hand side. And I thought it was raining, but I don't think it is. But it looks like we are about to get going as T-Hawk's car is underway already. The fire red lights are about to come out here, though, in Imola for round number 14 of the championship here in FRL F1. And it is lights out and away we go, and Lou gets a good stop, but it's a better stop by Mentos, and it's an even better stop by Baraka, and it could be three wide, down in towards Tamburello. T-Hawk's car is in there in the mid-pack, by the way, but Mentos leads, down in towards turn one at Tamburello. Can he get the move all the way around the outside? He can! Beautiful move by Mentos. He's through on Tamburello, and he's through on Lou, and he's into the lead of the race. Martin there in third. I think Baraka had to come across the curb slightly. Mika has spun in the background. Rocco has been caught up in a collision halfway down the straight in towards Villeneuve, but Mentos leading the way. Lou in second, Martin in third. Apart from the contact with the McLarens, looks like everyone has got through scot-free.
Yeah, I think Baraka was quite lucky as well. There was three abreast.
Oh, Macho! Macho side by side into Piratella, gets the move done on Henry. Lovely move. Thought, honestly, he wasn't going to risk it, but he does, and Macho's doing, he's into fourth.
Yeah, that's a crucial move from Macho. I think he wants to resume his pole position status, and I think he's proven that right now. And with the Ferrari is in the lead now, I think he's going to be holding up a bit of a train. But I think his race pace might be very strong here, but we have to wait and see. But Lou's keeping him company for now.
Yeah, Lou is keeping them company for now, and it's Ferrari first and third. How the Tifosi will be loving this in Imola. But it is Mentos leading the way across the line to start lap 2. Lou there in second, Martin there in third, and Lou on the back of Mentos. Is he going to try and get the run on him down in towards Tamburello and try and reclaim the favour from last time around? I don't think he is. And further down the field, however, Nathan and Harmon are side by side running down the straight, and Nathan down the inside line on that set of mediums sails through down the inside in towards Tamburello at turn 2. And Nathan is through and he's into P10, and on that set of mediums he seems like he's got the pace early on, which is good, and as long as he stays behind Nashil Cheto, of course, in the Williams by about a second, he'll be in that DRS train.
Yeah, I think but he needs to be really patient. Like, there's not many places to overtake, especially he's on the mediums tyres, which they are going to be the slowest for now as Rocco's in for self-hards. So I think he's going to hope for a safety car just to try and get back up. So yeah, I'm surprised we forgot about Nathan, really, where he would play out, but he's doing a fantastic job right now, and he might make a mix-up for the leading pack later on in this race.
Well, he did say to me in the Discord server a bit earlier on that he would try a bit of a Hamilton-Belgium sort of drive. So hopefully Nathan is going to eat his own words and possibly drive out of his skin here tonight. He is on the back of National Cheto, but that gap is a little bit expensive. About 8/10 of a second at the minute. Lou is not close enough to Mentos, I don't think, running down in towards Tamburello once again. Through the kink of one, Macho sets a new fastest lap of the race in behind. He's going to try and close in on Martin, but nobody is going to go for the move down in towards turn number 2 and 3. That is Tamburello, of course. Tamburello chicane through turns 2 and 3. Mentos leads the way, Lou in second, Martin in third. Gotta be honest though, Martin doesn't look like he's got the pace. Macho looks like he's on fire at the minute. He's right on the back, underneath his fellow countryman's slipstream. But, of course, the rear wing effect is going to take effect. And these 5, actually, with Henry just involved on the back of this as well, they're pulling away from Baraka. And has Baraka got any damage, is what I'm thinking, because he looks so slow.
Well, I was going to say in that first lap, side-by-side action with the top 2, there was like 3 abreast for P3 as well, and Baraka did get pushed wide over the curves, probably into the gravel as well. So he might have a little bit of front wing damage for that, probably even sideboard damage, which is not very good. But hopefully he hasn't got any problems. But he has set the fastest middle sector so far at this race. So I think whatever happened, he's just weared off, and now he's just getting back in the groove.
Yeah, I think he might have made a mistake more than anything else, and Baraka dipped out of a second on Henry. Henry there in 5th position and behind. Martin, by the way, picked up a penalty in toward Variante Alta, I think, on the accident Aqua Minerale up the run into there. But Mentos leading the way, Lou in second, and Lou's opportunity now to try and strike, and he goes to the inside line, in towards Tamburello. The Red Bull is through on the Ferrari. There'll be boos from the crowd as actually they go side by side, coming through Tamburello, and Martin's going to try and involve in this as well. And now all of a sudden, as I was saying, it's a Ferrari 1-2, but it's not. Martin's in the wall, a little bit of contact between them both, a little bit of side-by-side damage between Lou and Martin there. Mentos leads the way, Macho now into second, Henry is on the back of Lou, going all the way around the outside of Tulsa. Not really sure what happened there, to be honest. It looks like Lou has came away scot-free in terms of damage, but now Mentos leading the way, Macho in second, Henry in third, and it's just blown wide open.
Yeah, it was just, I think from my point of view, that could be a racing incident. I mean,
Lou's got damage.
Has he?
Yeah, side pod, I think it's side pod damage or floor damage, one of the two, and Jensen's going to absolutely sail on by him, down in towards Variante Alta. Lou is not fighting this, and it looks as if his chances now, with that contact with Martin coming through, with Mentos actually coming through turns 2 and 3 at Tamburello, Lou now looks out of this, and actually down the inside of him goes Smalley. Smalley down the inside and towards Ravata, gets the job done, and I think Lou is surely going to have to come into the pit, and he's got some sort of damage and he's in. As Macho's catching, Mentos for the lead of the race, sails past him, clean side-by-side move there, and Macho's through and he's into the lead.
Yeah, but now if you look at all these batteries as well, everyone's just been draining their batteries on that pit straight, and it's not easy to get their energy back up. Got to wait for like a few good more laps. So yeah, Macho might have the lead now, but I don't think he might get away just yet. So I think he's going to carry this train with him. But yeah, fantastic 5 laps for Macho. But yeah, unfortunate for Lou. I don't think there was anything that he could do there. Well, either the Ferraris could have.
Oh, Mentos has spun! Mentos has spun! Coming through Peratella! And he goes for a full 360. The Ferrari is round and Mentos has spun out of second position. And that was clear as day. Caught on the outside curb on the spin. And Mentos now all of a sudden down into P9. And Mentos was looking good on the back of Macho. It's now Henry with more excess battery. Realises I can try and get within a second this time. And Macho 1.2 seconds clear of Henry. And Imola is catching people out.
Yeah, which is not surprising looking at the past few races we had here, but yeah, that's just gone bad from
David spun.
From good result for Ferrari to be one of the worst results possible so far.
Here's Jensen on the back of Baraka. This is what we like to see. The championship leader is about to do battle down in towards Tamburello, but Baraka holds the position. Jensen, I think, wasn't tight to the goal for that move. He could have looked to the outside line there, but he didn't. Jensen there in P4. Baraka stays in P3. You can continue on.
Yeah, but I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, the Ferraris are not doing well, and as Dave has gone past him, Mentos
is in.
Yeah, he's pitted, he's gone for the hard, so I think he's going to pray for a safety car unless he can get back some results out of this race, as Lou's gone past him with the soft tyres. as Mick has got a 3-second penalty for multiple cut warning. So as Dave has spun yet again, the same place he lost in qualifying. So yeah, these are catching a lot of people out, surprisingly.
Well, you said in qualifying that the curbs would catch people out, and I saw, certainly in LOE, through the final corner at Ravazza, he certainly would spin there, and I think Mentos has just spun as well. Yeah, Mentos has just spun, coming out of the pit lane, and down through Tamburello, he's spun as well as Dave has crashed, coming through the Villeneuve chicane, and is that going to deploy safety car now? Macho is past the pit lane exit, sector 2 yellow flag, it's still showing, and Dave I think is actually still going. I think he's retired out on track if I'm not mistaken. I've got to be honest though, it's not the most professional thing to do, but there we are.
Yeah, if he's retired out of track, then that is some kind of penalty, which you cannot do in FRL. Which I know it's frustrating, but you have to be committed and follow the rules, and if you don't follow the rules you will get penalised by the stewards. But yeah, he's not had a good race, and nor's Rocco. He's losing the back end. He's not had a good setup for the past few races. He's just sliding that car like it's so nice. As Lou has gone past us on the new set of softs, but hopefully he doesn't have damage to carry throughout the race. As you see, Martin on the back of T-Hawk, which I believe T-Hawk is back in his car, which is fantastic to see. As we see, Martin is hopefully to get the move done with his full battery, which is going to be easy picking. Nicking Canny from
Look at Mentos! Mentos could get both of them. It's going to be 3 wide down the straight. Oh, and he has to take a vote in action. And that could have been like Bottas and Russell. Martin is through. T-Hawk. I don't know why Mentos was going to try and go for that, to be honest, if I've got to be honest. Cheto has spun, however, coming through. I think that's Tosa, and he's actually been caught up in a collision with Smalley. They both spun, coming through Ravazza. This is unbelievable. Everyone is just spinning out on track. We could get a moment where Harmon or somebody's going to win.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like watching F4. No offense to the F1 drivers. It's just chaos for everywhere we look. We just see drivers swapping and changing all over the place, but for the wrong reasons, it seems. And obviously, we only had 8 laps into this race. Look where Nathan is. He's in P5 on the mediums. And he's only probably around 7 seconds behind Macho. So,
he's less than 7 seconds. He's about 5 seconds behind him, I think.
No,
5 seconds. Dead on.
No, I'm actually looking at the wrong gap to leaders. So yeah, it is 5 seconds. So yeah, but either way, fantastic from Nathan. He's just stayed out of trouble, really.
He has, and of course the set of mediums are going to be coming into play as well, and that's what he's going to try and benefit from. Those set of mediums actually coming into play. It is Macho who leads the way. 1.8 seconds, and I think Henry might have made a mistake coming through Varianta Alta. Baraka now and Jensen are hunting him down.
Yeah, and Henry's derated now, so he's going to be sitting back on the straight, probably going to lose two positions now during this one, but is Baraka and Jensen going to play very sensibly just to overtake Henry?
He's not close enough. I don't think Baraka's close enough down in towards Tamburello. He is going to try lunge it down the inside line. No, didn't look close enough. About 0.6 of a second away coming out the final corner, and it's normally within 0.5 of a second where you're going to have to try and really pick your move down in towards turn 1. And unfortunately, I think for Baraka, he was just too far behind Henry out on track to get that. There is a spinner through, and it's Smalley that has spun through Tamburello.
Yeah, and that's what Baraka for the constructors doesn't want to see, as he's struggling for power. He's lost his front wing. So I don't know. I think he just took too much curb, really. Probably the exit of turn 2 yet again. So, and just lost his front wing.
Ooh.
So he's got...
And Henry's just made 2 mistakes. Coming through Aqua Minerale was on board with Baraka and Jensen there, and Henry made a not a real big mistake, but enough of a mistake to fall outside of the 2-second gap to Macho. 2.5 seconds now, all of a sudden. Macho's flying out on track. Henry in second, Baraka in third, Jensen in fourth. But now, running down the hill, there is another spinner, and Martin has spun. Coming through, Tamburello is catching everyone out tonight. Martin has spun, Mentos has spun, Henry's into the pit lane all of a sudden as well. This race is becoming literally like a war of attrition and a drive to survive.
Yeah, and that would be a good thing to watch, I think. With the Ferraris starting, well, pretty much in the second and third row, to having one car at the back and one retiring. It's just chaos, and as Henry has pitted.
Yeah, Henry is into the pit lane from, I think, it was second position when he came out. He's in that sort of medium compound tyre. Smalley is into the pit lane, obviously, to repair his front wing. Henry is going to be ahead of Lou by quite a comfortable margin as well. So Henry out of the pit lane, in clearer, on a set of mediums. What can he do? There's a spinner coming through the middle sector, and it's Mentos again.
Yeah, and he did reset. I just got on board with him as well, and he did reset the track.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, so... I don't see him continuing. I don't think. Yeah, he's not. He didn't even try and make the corner. So I think he's going to retire at the end of this lap.
He will. Jensen's trying to put a little bit of pressure on Baraka as well. 2 seconds the gap. Macho leading the way. And for Macho, from a 5-second penalty for illegal blocking in the pit lane in qualifying, he's now leading the race. About to lap Mentos. He's into the pit lane now, Macho. Baraka and Jensen stay out. But is Jensen close enough to try and snatch this lead now off Baraka? Look at the closing speed of the Alfa Romeo. He's going to sail on by on the outside line. Down in towards Tamburello. Jensen has sailed past his championship rival. And if it's anything like that, Jensen is feeling he's into the lead of the race. And Baraka looks like he's struggling with his tyres slightly. And now Jensen beginning to pull away. And now, catch me if you can, he cries.
Yeah, that was a good move from Jensen, but I don't think Baraka wants to fight too much because Nathan is only just there. He's only just under 2 seconds away from these two. So this fight for the lead is not over yet between those five with Henry as well, and he's closed up to Macho with that undercut. So he's going to get a good undercut with Baraka and Jensen. So hopefully these tyres will hang on to the end of the race. As you see, Martin retires, and it was out on track. I don't know if he did it with delivery, but
I looked at that coming out of Tamburello, and honestly, that is the slowest crash I think I've ever seen on a mini map. That's the slowest crash I think I've ever seen.
To be honest, he did he retired halfway on that little straight, so I don't think he lost it coming out of the corner. I don't think so. Yeah, it's just come back to us, and I can understand his frustration, but these things really does happen as we see Rocco putting under pressure on Smalley out for the wooden spoon.
Yeah, Smalley I think got the move done, if I'm not mistaken. We saw the position change there. So Smalley I think got the move done down in towards turn 1, and he's through now and he's into 11th position. Baraka's only 4 tenths away on the back of Jensen as well for the lead of the race. Can Nathan win this race? He's on a set of mediums at the minute. You can last a good 20 laps on a set of mediums around here. Has he got a chance of actually winning this race from last position?
I don't think so. If there's going to be a DRS train like what Jensen and Baraka are doing right now, I don't think so, because they're going to be swapping, changing each other's from lap by lap. And when it comes to the switchover point with the 3 cars, yeah, Nathan's going to have the upper hand. But these lot will already be like on the undercut with 7 laps in hand. So, and the time Nathan catches up, he probably have wear on his tyres. So, I don't think he might get the win, but we'll see.
Look at the rate he's catching, though. He's nearly under a second behind Baraka, and in fact, he's in DRS range. He's in DRS range this time around on Baraka. Are the front two going to come into the pit lane? Yes. Jensen and Baraka are in. Now puts Nathan in the lead of the race. And this is where Nathan is going to be quicker than obviously Mika, who's going to be behind him, and Macho. Macho was catching Mika. He's on a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Henry's not too far off this either. Nathan, I think, is going to try and extend his stint slightly from to go onto that set of soft compound tyres towards the end of the race. Remember, it's a long pit lane around here as well. Jensen is coming out the pit lane. There's Mika on the left-hand side of the screen coming past as Martin has left the session. Macho was passed. Henry's going to be passed as well. And in fact, Jensen and Baraka have lost a lot of time coming out of the pit lane, and Lou is actually on the back of them on a set of soft compound tyres. He needs less than a second away.
Yeah, that's the thing when you have the undercut where Henry did. So, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of time with the undercut, which Nathan's going to lose a lot of time with these guys right now. If he's going to pit in like 7 laps or so, he's going to lose a lot of time. That's why I don't think he's going to probably win this race. But if there's a safety car, we'll see. But he's got a 3-second penalty now to his name.
He has. He's just picked that up coming out of Variante Alta at the top of the hill. Don't think he really cares, because I know a majority of the guys are probably going to be picking up that 3-second penalty as we go through the race. So I think that's what's probably going to be happening. But Nathan leading the way, 17.6 seconds, gap to Macho is 19.7 seconds. So Mika's doing a good job there. Of course, a recently signed TTG man. I forgot to mention that, didn't I? He's recently signed for TTG. He's there in second position, doing a good job. Macho there in third. Rocco and T-Hawk, by the way, side by side for the wooden spoon, up in towards Piratella, and T-Hawk's going to try and muscle his way around the outside line. Smart driving from Rocco, though, on the inside line. And these two, I think, are going to have a very good battle. And do you know what? If more people fall in front of them, they could be picking up really good points.
Yeah, obviously we hope so, because obviously T-Hawk did not get going, so he deserved a bit more, as Rocco gets a 3-second penalty. So nearly half the grid has got time penalties now, so it could be quite interesting when it comes to the end of the race. Hopefully there won't be a safety car at all, otherwise that will mix the field massively. But the thing with Nathan, he's got to hope Mika plays a part of him to hold these guys up. I think that could be his best chance to get a good result out of this, as Mentos has left the session. But yeah, he's got to leave. He's got to rely on Mika, try and hold these guys. I don't think it's impossible, but yeah. But with a clean air Nathan's got and he's still putting good lap times in. He's only a second and a half down off his previous best.
I'll tell you now, Macho was catching. He's caught 2 seconds on Mika in the last lap alone. On this lap alone, he's caught 2 seconds, and Mika still continuing on. I wouldn't be surprised if Macho tries to have a go down in towards turn 1, because if you've got the straight line speed, is the track going to run out of time for him? I think it is on this occasion. I thought it was going to be down in towards turn 1, but Macho in behind on Mika still stays in second position. Baraka's not entirely far off Jensen either down in towards turn 1. Obviously not going to get the move done from that far back. But Macho, look at how quick he is on that fresh set of medium compounded tyres. Even on that fresh set of mediums, Mika is under pressure. Down in towards Tulsa corner, and then in towards Piratella. I think Macho could have a go here, in towards Piratella. If he really fancies it, like he did earlier on lap 1, can he try the move? No, he's going to wait in behind. But the more you get held up in behind, there comes a point where the more you get held up in behind, the more time you lose. Therefore, you give the advantage to Nathan, who's probably going to be in and around 7 or 8 seconds behind Macho when he decides to come into the pit lane.
Well, this is what I was saying. I mean, if this is going to be Nathan's opportunity to even stay with these guys coming out on his pit stop, probably the 7-second gap. So this is Nathan's biggest chance. If Mika can just hold position, if he can, he's got a great chance of being with these guys when he makes his stop. But I don't think he's going to do it now. Macho is going to have the straight line speed. He's going to overtake, and the DRS as well. I don't think he's going to put up a fight.
He won't put up a fight, and Mika is now down into P3. Macho was through and he's into P2. Lou, by the way, is into the pit lane. From a set of soft compounded tyres, he's going to latch onto a set of medium compounded tyres. It's not a bad strategy, of course. He has used up now that mandatory 2-stop. That, of course, you have to put on 2 dry compounded tyres within a race. Baraka and now Jensen are freed up, but they're 3.3 seconds off the back of Henry, and if I've got to be honest, Jensen hasn't got the pace compared to Baraka. Baraka's just lost a bit of time there. But Jensen just doesn't look like he's got the pace compared to Henry. It's 3.5 seconds at the minute, and honestly, that gap is somewhat stable. If not, he's actually losing time to Henry, and Henry is probably the one that's going to get Mika maybe in the next 3 laps.
Maybe, unless they're conserving tyres for later on in the race, because they know how quick Nathan was, and they knew how close they were behind him. So I don't know if they're conserving. I doubt if they're going to be in the same party, because we hardly hear from Baraka. But no, if this is true, there's very tactical decisions from these 2 rivals. I don't know if they will be working together. It'll be very high likelihood they do, as Baraka goes wide though with the dirty air with Jensen. So I think that's why he can't get past at this minute, as Macho is slowly closing back to Nathan now, obviously with the fresher tyres. Only by a second that lap though, which I don't know if that's very quick for 1 lap with the fresh tyres. Which, if so, that means Nathan's got an amazing setup on his car, and I think when Nathan makes his stop, he'll probably be in the P6 area.
He will. He'll be comfortably in P6. He's going to be, I think, 5 seconds, between 5 and 10 seconds, I would say, at this point, off the back of Baraka. And if he's off that by if the soft compound tyres come into play, which I know they do around here at Imola, he's going to be 2 seconds quicker a lap. But he's got to latch onto the back of that DRS train, and it's the DRS train that is going to eventually hold him up. So if I was Nathan, actually, do you know what? I'd pit in, probably either next lap around or lap 19, pit in, try and get 13 lap old soft compound tyres to the end of the race. It is quite high tyre wear around here, but he'll be hoping to try and get them that done. And if he does, then I think he's pulled off an absolute masterclass of his strategies. Henry now is on the back of Mika. Baraka's not too far off Jensen either, in behind. And Mika now pulls the inside line. He's going to try and break that chill desperately, but Henry is going to sail on by, surely down in towards Tamburello. Job done for Henry. He is through, he's into P3, in behind as well. Baraka catching Jensen, backs off the throttle down in towards Tamburello. Jensen is there. But again, they're losing time. Jensen's lost another 0.5 of a second in the last 2 laps or so.
Yeah, it's gone up to 4 seconds, so I don't know what's happening, really. I don't know if Jensen's feeling under pressure, he's not feeling comfortable in these medium tyres, or Baraka just can't get past with the dirty air. So, well, I think Baraka could be the quickest one. I think he's got the cornering speed, but I don't think he's got the straight line speed, which I think that's affecting him.
It is affecting him, but he has got 43% of ERS. He's got about 16% more as Harman has gone for a spin coming out of Tamburello. Nearly a full 360 through there. And Harman has managed to rejoin the track in 10th position. It could be 11th, actually, because Rocco was coming quite quickly in behind him as well. But Harman rejoined still in 10th position, still in the points scoring positions. Nathan leading the way for Macho in second. That gap has somewhat stabilised, to be honest. It looks like Nathan really beginning to try and pull out as much as he can over Macho. Henry there in third is trying to catch Macho as well, and do you know what? He's not entirely out of this either. Harman has been overtaken by Rocco up the hill in towards Piratella, so Rocco is doing now into the point, and he's into P10, and Baraka again closing in on Jensen, closing in all the time, gets within 0.3 of a second. Not close enough though, down in towards Tamburello once again. Nathan leading the way, Macho in second, and to be honest, Nathan doing such a solid job. He's got a lot of deployment left actually on this lap. Macho beginning to catch, but the gap is somewhat stabilised, and it almost looks like as if Macho was just overheating those tyres slightly, and his tyre wear is greater than Nathan's at this stage.
I mean, yeah, Macho was always going to close up with or without, but I don't know what I was saying there, but yeah, he's only catching roughly a second a lap, and between the new and soft tyres, yeah, that's not particularly great, because you're expecting probably a second half, probably up to 2 seconds, just by the two different tyre compounds of the new tyres and the old tyres. So yeah, Nathan's doing a brilliant job, and it's just only 13.5 seconds, which I think Macho has got this covered. But that all depends if a safety car comes in, and that will be not good news for him, but it'll be brilliant news for Nathan.
Well, Cheto was losing more time to Baraka as well. Mika is into the pit lane, 18 laps on that set, well, 19 laps on that set of mediums. Is it a red wall tyre he's coming on to? Yes, set of soft compound tyres is going to go on for Mika. So that now instinctively means that I think Nathan should come into the pit lane. Macho only gained 0.8 of a second last lap around on Nathan, and Nathan's doing such a solid job. Is Mika going to actually be overtaken by Cheto? Yes, he will. So Cheto is there. Into P6 he goes. Mika could even be behind Lou here. Lou is coming across the start-finish line, and Mika is at the end of the pit lane, and he is going to be behind. So Lou is ahead of Mika, and if that's anything to go by, is Nathan going to be behind Cheto, possibly? I don't think he will, but...
No, I don't think he will. I think he'd be comfortable ahead. As we see yellow flags in the last sector, I don't think there'll be a safety car, I don't think. Yeah, but now we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on Mika, actually, how much he actually closed just in on this lap. Yep. Okay, he's in, but I'm going to keep an eye on this gap between Lou and Mika, just to see how much this gap will close on those new soft tyres, which he looks like he is comfortably flying at this stage. I don't know, I think the gap was literally just over 3 seconds, and the gap is already coming down quite quickly, 2.5 seconds now, just in this half a lap. And it
Nathan coming out the pit lane is going to be about 6 or 7 seconds behind Baraka. Coming out the pit lane might not even be as much as that. In fact, it's going to be about 6 seconds. So Nathan, if Mika is catching Lou, I think somewhat that degrades somewhat the gap somewhat, because Lou's obviously on a fresh set of mediums as well. Mika's there on a set of softs, so the timing is not going to be that extensive. But look at Nathan, he's already caught 2-3 tenths of a second already, and that's just coming through the first couple of corners in the first sector. So I think if you want a real comparison, it's Nathan to Baraka. Smalley is retired into the pit lane. Smalley is out of the race into the pit lane, so he retires out of point scoring positions as well, in fact. So Smalley is into the pit lane. Rocco could have came in behind as well. He might come into the pit lane behind as well. But now, Nathan, 4.7 seconds off. He's putting the hammer down. And do you know what? I'm going to predict it now. I think Nathan is going to probably win this race.
From my point of view, I think it's going to be a long stretch. I think he will be close. I think he might get third. Possibly. And what's the gap? No, to be honest, I think he might get second. I think he might get second if his tires hang on and he actually being patient with his overtaking and possibly defending, but we'll see. But yeah, this is a brilliant drive from Nathan. We were just...
Oh, Baraka's going side by side with Jensen. Sorry to cut in. Baraka on the outside line. Gets through on Jensen. Crucial for Baraka. If he wants to show that pace, now is the time to do so. And I think Henry made a mistake as well, coming out of Tamburello, because that gap has just closed down by a good 5 tenths of a second. Baraka now into third. Jensen in fourth. But that doesn't stop Nathan from catching. 3.5 seconds behind. He is absolutely flying out on track.
Yeah, fantastic move from Baraka. I think he knew the time was right to make that move. I mean, look how much battery he's got compared to the rest of them around him. He's on 70%, so that could come useful at the end of the race. I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep Nathan behind, but probably enough to maybe help Henry in a way, as we see.
Oh, what a move! Rocco down the inside, so he got in again. Down the inside and towards Tamburello. Harmon almost looked like he was going to cut off the inside line. He didn't, and Rocco managed on the 100-meter board to get that car stopped just about into the corner, and Rocco's on his into ninth. Lovely move, that.
Yeah, I just came on after the overtake was done, as Jensen is still in that DRS. He's closing up to Baraka. He's closing. I think he's got more straight line speed than Baraka, but I don't think it's going to come. Yeah, I don't think it's going to come close enough. That makes totally sense in my head, but that doesn't stop Nathan at all. He's already 2 seconds behind these two in the space of 2 laps. I think this is going to be quite easy, but again, when it comes to the dirty air, it might be a different story, because obviously this game likes to be realistic, like previous games. But yeah, Nathan is flying, and I think he could get these two, but it all depends if they will be in the DRS of each other.
Nathan will be under a second before he gets pretty much towards Ravata. If he really attacks Aqua Minerale, he's going to be 1.2 seconds off, and he actually runs across the curb, and as soon as I say that, he loses the time. So Nathan makes a mistake, but drivers are prone to mistakes, and we saw, by the way, Mika get through on Lou down and towards turn 1 as well. Nathan is 1.1 seconds away. If he uses up this deployment, and Jensen isn't, which he isn't doing, Nathan derating down the straight, I think he's just outside of a second. In fact, he's just got in a second. Down into the braking zone. How late was that on the brakes from Nathan? And he's in the DRS range.
Yeah, but when he went wide, that's good. Problem. Now he's in that train.
Here's Jensen on the back of Baraka, goes past him. Jensen's through, he's into P3. And now the championship swings once again. Jensen into P3, but surely they're both going to be outdone by Nathan. If Nathan can get through these two on this lap, or on the next lap certainly, Nathan's got a chance of winning this race. I mean, he's got a 3-second penalty, but so has Henry. And Jensen and Baraka are not really impacting on Henry's time that much. Nathan is, but now Nathan's held up behind 2 slower cars.
Well, that's right, he needs to get this move done, probably in one of the corners if he can, if he's still with those tire life fresh as a daisy. But if the more he stays behind these cars, the more that front end grip is going to go away from him, and he does need to get this move done as soon as possible.
Down the hill.
On the straight, he might do it down the hill, but I don't think he's going to do it on the straight, because Baraka's going to get DRS on both on Jensen.
Actually,
so this is
do you know what? You're right there. He is going to get DRS down the straight. Baraka is going to get DRS at Jensen, but Nathan's going to get a double toe. Nathan's just tucking in the slipstream, gonna get a double toe. I'm on board with this. I think he's gonna get them both down the straight. Look at the speed of Baraka. He's gonna carry, basically, Baraka with him. And now Nathan is gonna try and go on the outside line. He picks up the toe of Jensen, but he is gonna get Jensen down in towards someone. Doesn't manage to get Baraka, and he's actually nearly close to the back of him, in towards the Tamburello chicane, and now in towards Villeneuve. This is it. Nathan needs to make the move done in towards Tosa, really, to try and get this move done, and it's not close enough, so Nathan is going to have to do it halfway around this lap to try and then get Henry later on this lap. So Nathan doing a good job in towards Piratella. Look at how so much quicker he is. He's so much quicker, but he cannot find a way through.
Yeah, I mean, in that last corner, you can see the front end's trying to get away from him when he's just trying to turn that car in. The side corners he's doing alright. There's not much flow of dirt yet. Henry gets another 3-second penalty, so I think that's 6 to his name. So he needs to be careful, otherwise he's going to lose the podium positions to Nathan or possibly Baraka and Jensen if they DRS each other down the straight. But I think now, looking at this live, I think Nathan might get this comfortably.
I think he will.
We have to see what Jensen does. He's got more battery deployment. He's a bit far away to Nathan than he is to Baraka. But we'll see. Wow. Here comes Jensen.
He's going to steam maybe down the inside of Baraka. Is he close enough to them both? No, he actually lets Baraka go. Nathan, though, is through and he's into third. And look at how much he's just shot away coming over Tamburello. It's 5.5 tenths of a second, the gap now between himself and Baraka. But has those tyres now been cost? Mika and National Cheto, by the way, side by side further down the field as well. Mika making good progress. He got through on Lou a few laps ago, and now he's through and he's into P6. But now Nathan, 3.5 seconds to Henry. He is 8 seconds off the lead. Can he catch 8 seconds in 7 laps? He's basically got to cut down the gap a second a lap. Just over a second a lap.
I don't think he will. I think the tyres will be past as done by their date, really. We'll put it with 3 laps to go. So I don't think he's going to get the win. He might get Henry, though. I mean, I think he will on penalties, but Nathan needs to be careful himself to be pushing. Otherwise he's going to get 6 seconds as well, which is going to probably put him down in 5th, I imagine.
You'd imagine so. I think Baraka 9 tenths off him now, but he can see Henry in front of him, and this is going to be a real instinctive for Nathan to try and close in on the Flying Brit ahead, of course, of the Aston Martin. Macho, by the way, we haven't even mentioned this race. He's just dominated now throughout this second stint. Macho has done a phenomenal job. He's there in P1 on his own right, and with that 5-second penalty for illegal blocking, he is really, really lucky, I think, how this race has gone, because easily he could have ended up the other way down the field. But Macho has avoided everything, has kept it clean, kept it off the curbs. I don't think he's got any penalties either, which is really good. Well, he hasn't got any penalties either. But now is the big moment, because Nathan is 7.2 seconds away. The gap that time around was caught by 8 tenths of a second, running now down in towards Aquaminerale, and Nathan is getting closer still, and now it's 7 seconds the gap.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the warnings and penalties. Obviously, Nathan's got 1 penalty, but he's 1 corner away from, and again, of 6 seconds. But so's Jensen. Jensen's actually 1 corner away from a 3 seconds as well. But Baraka's in a class of his zone with only 1 warning, so he's in a good position at this minute. But Jensen's still put the pressure on him, though. He's still not letting him go. These two will not separate each other, not just in the championship, but on the racetrack itself, which is good to see from our point of view. And as Lou is closed up to the Williams driver, I can't pronounce his name, which is probably the next overtake going on track with the battery. Actually, no, Williams has got more battery than... Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you deploy...
Easily.
Yeah, a little bit of weaving though, which is a bit naughty, but yeah, a bit late, but he managed to get the move done sensibly, so I think that's okay. Will he close up to Mika? I don't think he will.
He might do. I think Mika's tyres, if he's been going quite hard in terms of his soft compounder tyre, those will end up wearing out. So I think Mika is now going to be vulnerable to Lou, especially on the final couple of laps of the race. Jensen, by the way, all over the back of Baraka, but now Nathan, look, he's underneath a second to Henry. This is unbelievable. He is still catching. I don't think he's going to win this race now. I think the time is running out. If it was a couple of laps longer, maybe. But Nathan's tyres are beginning to go, as is the time around this track. On to lap 29 we go. Macho leads the way. Henry in second. But Nathan, is he going to come storming at Henry down in towards turn 1 at Tamburello? Look at the closing speed of him. Is he going to try and risk it around the outside line? Henry says, you know what? Go! Henry has let him through. And Nathan's into P2. Very comfortably indeed. 5.3 seconds to the gap. Nathan... Can he do it? I don't think he can.
That's just given him a net P2 now. If Henry if Henry just managed to fight him for this lap at least, well, it would have been Jensen into P2 himself, but he's not. The gap is already at 3 seconds already. So if Nathan holds on, he's got a net P2, which I think he would take that any day.
But what about if Macho picks up a penalty in front of him? Does he then go and try and get Macho for the race win out on track? As I say, 5 seconds now the gap. It's pretty much nearly stagnant, the gap, if I'm going to be honest. And Nathan is still catching. It's still going to be about 5.1 seconds running down the straight. But Nathan has done a phenomenal job. I mean, he started this race with a qualifying ban in 15th position. I think more drivers should have qualifying bans, to be honest, because Nathan has just absolutely excelled out on track. But he needs to realise that he's got to get away from Jensen. And Jensen there in 4th. There is a yellow flag there. I think Harmon has just let Rocco through, if I'm not mistaken. And Rocco through and he's into P9. Harmon there in P10. And I think Harmon actually... I thought he had a puncture. I thought he had a rewrite puncture, but he doesn't. I think he's been off somewhere, though. But Harmon now down in P10. Baraka still all over the back of Jensen. And this is probably going to be the battle to watch out for now.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's going to come literally on the line, possibly, with these two. So, would you want to be the car ahead, or would you want to be the car in front with the, obviously having the better position, or would you want that straight line speed to get you to that line quicker? So, yeah, a bit interesting who will come on top of these two. But, like I said, Jensen's 1 away from a corner cut, from a penalty.
Ooh, and Baraka's made a mistake just in behind him, actually. On board with that, Baraka makes a mistake, got a little bit twitchy. Nathan's picked up another penalty as well. So this now brings Jensen into net second, because he's 4.5 seconds behind Nathan. I think he is anyways. Let's have a look at the gap. The gap is... Ooh, it's 4.8 seconds, the gap between Nathan and Jensen. Nathan's tyres are still going quite well.
With 2 laps to go as well.
2 laps to go. It's 4.9 seconds. He's got to gain a second on Jensen, and he's pretty much there. But Jensen is then going to think about Baraka in behind. Baraka, final lap of the race, down in towards Tamburello. If he's close enough, he'll go for the move, because he wants that move. He wants to try and outscore Jensen some points as well in the championship. It just throws a whole different dynamic to the race, I think. Nathan is pulling away, but Jensen is now beginning to catch Henry. And he's on 3-level younger tyres, and he is catching Henry. So this is not over and done with. I think Nathan's going to be maybe even at the podiums here.
This is going to be so close, because if Jensen gets in this DRS zone, that could be the podium for him. But the thing is, if Henry's struggling, he's going to be costing them time throughout that lap alone. So I don't know which way this is going to go here, because now Nathan's got that 6-second penalty. He can afford just to pretty much go wild for the last 2 laps, to just go for it, just to hold on for this podium position. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what Henry does. Henry could be the decider who gets on the podium.
Baraka's going to have to go for this on Jensen, I'm afraid to say, because Baraka is 5/10 better off than Nathan at this moment in time. On to the final lap we go here in Imola. We've had no safety cars, believe it or not, this race. Macho leading the way, Nathan in second. Is Baraka close enough down the inside and towards Tamburello? No, he looked a lot closer though this time around. And now Baraka is going to have to try and go for this move on this final lap of the race. He's going to leave no stone unturned. And you know what? You may as well try and get Henry while you're at it as well, because Henry is slowing in front of him, and Henry could be the big cork in the bottle. The gap now, all of a sudden, Nathan is 5.5 seconds ahead as Rocco was retired coming through Variante Alta on the exit of Variante Alta. Nathan's second position is not over and done with. All this relies on Henry has to hold up Jensen and Baraka for him to get second.
Yeah, and it's literally like half a second in it as well, coming up to the last second.
Oh, he's picked up a penalty!
And then he's got a penalty as well, so that's game over for Nathan as well. Oh, that's such a shame.
Macho.
He will still get P3. Sorry, not P3. Get P5. But I think Henry's going to hang on.
Yeah, Macho across the line will win. However, in Imola, fantastic win for Macho. He'll be over the moon with that. Bit of wing damage flies off the Alpine in the end as well. Nathan in second, and look at where the podiums are going to go. Jensen and Baraka get second and third, and it's Alfa Romeo 1-2 as well.
Yeah, a fantastic 1-2. Brilliant deserve from the team. That's just had a huge boost in the constructors. But man, what a race, what an ending to a race. We just didn't know which way it was going to go throughout. We don't know who was, I think we knew who was going to win, but who would be on the podium, that was just another ball game to guess. But yeah, fantastic drive from all 5 of them.
Yeah, really good race in the end, given how many spins we had, given how many moments we had out on track as well. Cheto was the only man that we are waiting on to come across the line, because I think Harman and Teal got lapped in that race as well, which is unfortunate for them. Cheto though runs to the line. He picks up 8th position. What could have been for him? He had a spin early on in the race as well, and he messed up his strategy in terms of that as well. But across the line goes National Cheto. Driver of the day, what about the in-game fans? Nathan. And do you know what? I think not, because I think Macho should get it.
I'm actually between Nathan and Macho. I think Macho had control of that race. I think he totally deserved that. But who knows whether Nathan would have been if he didn't get that qualifying ban. And to be honest, he did play fairly, overtaking and not really getting into any trouble of his own. So yeah, it's between Macho and Nathan for me.
Can we have a split driver of the day is what I'm going to ask in the interviews, possibly.
I don't know if that's allowed, but both drivers deserve a driver of the day in my opinion.
Yeah, both do. I think Macho certainly drove a fantastic race. From 6th position on the grid, he obviously set pole position, so technically he has done 2/3 of the Grand Slam, with Cheto obviously picking up the fastest lap. That was totally gone. Macho does technically pick up pole position in the race win if it wasn't for that illegal blocking penalty. So Macho was won off 6th position on the grid. Jensen there in 2nd in the end. Baraka in 3rd. Nathan 9 seconds worth of penalties. If he didn't pick up that penalty, he would have been 2nd. It's as simple as that. But he picked up the penalty, and it was 8/10 of a second. 8/10 of a second. Baraka pretty much had over him in terms of the gap. So Nathan was wasted away, and it's 2.2 seconds in the end, obviously, between them both. Henry there in 5th, drove a solid race. His tyres went at the end. Mika in 6th, Lou in 7th, Cheto in 8th, Harman in 9th, Teal ran off the top 10. They all finished under their own accord. Rocco in 11th, Smalley in 12th. These are the beginnings of the DNF. So Rocco, Smalley, Mentos, Martin and Dave all DNFing out of the race. Macho wins, though, here in Imola. Jensen 2nd, and Baraka obviously in 3rd for the AlphaTauri team. Alfa Romeo obviously outscore AlphaTauri in terms of the points. Smalley didn't finish. Baraka only 3rd. Alfa Romeo take a considerable chunk out of the time, obviously, to AlphaTauri, who's in behind them in the constructor standings as well.
Yeah, so I think they got a bit of a breather in the constructors now. Just a bit. It's just like I said before, Baraka's just leading that AlphaTauri team, which he needs a decent teammate to get back towards Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he does. I think we should go and join the interviews party, though.
Yep.
Let's go across there now. My controller is on a 1 bar, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get a few interviews out before my controller dies. But hopefully everyone did enjoy that race. Of course, if you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell. Of course, if you are new to the FRL channel, as now we switch over into our FRL F1 post-race interviews party. And the man who finished in P1, Macho once again, your 2nd victory in 4 races, my friend. Fantastic win from you. Talk us through it, and talk us through especially that illegal blocking penalty that you got.
Yeah, like I said last week, man, I am kind of an Imola merchant, so I needed to win here. And yeah, the qualifying lap was so bad, and I still managed to get pole, and I was really happy with it. First pole of the season, and then I get to the screen, and I see 5-place grid penalty for blocking. Like, I don't know where it happened. I have no clue where it happened. I didn't see it on my screen. I have no clue. So, but yeah, I was only more eager to win, to be honest, after the 5-place grid penalty, because I just knew I had the pace. And yeah, I had an I had a good start, good launch. I think I went past Henry. Yeah, I was past him, but then I got pushed on the curbs, like Lewis Hamilton, and then he went around the outside of me again, and we passed Baraka though, because he was in the gravel, but yeah, and then from there on, I knew I had the pace. I was just getting my concentration in the first laps, because I had 2 warnings in the first 2 laps. So I was thinking oh my day, just don't get the penalty, and I was faultless throughout the whole race then, and just took the dub.
You did take the dub indeed, and as I say, second win in 4 races, of course, following on from that Zandvoort win. It must be very, very pleasing, of course, because you made up, basically, for that illegal blocking penalty, and it looked like on our screen, certainly, I'm not sure if it was glitch-induced or whatever, it looked like you blocked Harman, I think it was, one of the Mercedes, certainly, coming out the pit lane. Were you practicing the starter or anything on your end, and blocking the pit lane?
Yeah, sorry, I was already, I was so happy about the win that I completely forgot that, but I said that to Jensen before the race. I was waiting for Jensen to come through on the straight, because I didn't want to exit the pit lane. And I think I got it there, but I didn't get the notification on my screen, so I didn't see that I had a penalty.
That's really strange, but then again, it's called Masters Games, and they tend to not give you drivers notifications at the end of the day, which is just ridiculous. But as I say, fantastic win, of course, and I'll come on to, obviously, Jensen in a little bit as well, but Alfa Romeo, in terms of the constructor standings, looking quite decent now, because obviously you outscored Baraka in 3rd.
Yep, we're... Before the race, we were just in a party, and we were like, okay, let's just get this one too, mate. Let's just go for it, full send, and we delivered, man. We delivered.
You absolutely delivered indeed. I'm going to come across to Michael. Any questions?
Yeah, congratulations on your win. Pretty much a dominant race from your perspective. You pretty much have come alive since your win at your home Grand Prix. I mean, you could have had another win in between that, but we don't know. But yeah, how did you just feel in the car? Did you feel comfortable in the lead after you took it? Because we were quite curious if Nathan would have catch up to you at the end. So were you just in control, or were you just still aware of the guys around you?
So like I said, I was so eager to take this win because of the penalty. I was in P4 after lap 1, so I was really happy with that. And then I instantly said to Jensen again, I need to get this in the lead, man. I just need to get in the lead. I can't drive in this dirty air. And when I finally got in the lead, it was just dominance from there on, to be honest. I don't think anyone has been in my DRS. And then coming back to Nathan. Yeah, Nathan drove an incredible first stint, man. It's actually insane. I wasn't even really catching on the new mediums, or I was catching, but not enough. So I knew he was gonna come at the end of the race, but luckily, I think he got stuck a bit behind all of the other cars. So that helped a lot. But then again, he had some penalties, and I was in the last 5 laps, the tires were really going. I was at 65%, and I was drive it home, don't pick up a penalty, and get the points in the bag.
Yeah, well done. Well, that was just a phenomenal race, and you looked at it, you pretty much had it all your own race, despite having that 5 grid penalty, which I think it was just nonsense, really. But but you just proved Codemasters wrong. But what a fantastic win, well deserved. And coming up to the next one in Russia, do you think you can repeat that and domination from Alfa Romeo?
To be honest, I know last season I was watching LOE, and Nathan was really fast around there, so I expect him to be very, very quick as well. But yeah, obviously we're just gonna go full send again, and like in this form, I know for sure me and Jensen are just gonna get bang on points every single race. So.
Well, we'll just hope so, and hopefully it will go your way. But obviously you got people with Baraka, Nathan, Lou up there, and Henry as well, who's pretty much been in the fight for the whole race. So it's been really close between you lot in particular, but well done for your victory, and hopefully you can repeat that next week.
Thank you very much, and thanks for comms, guys.
No worries.
Very welcome indeed, and now we'll move on, of course, to our man who finished in P2, and that is IFR Jensen. And Jensen, you had a phenomenal battle with Baraka for the second half of the race. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a pretty good battle race, to be fair. It was like, yeah, just, like, throwing jabs at each other throughout, swapping places and all that. Yeah, I tried, at the start of the race I tried looking for a gap because it looked like he had a poor start, and I think he might have got over the curbs in the first part of this sector. And yeah, I tried going for a move, but it was a bit too late, so I just had to bide my time. Once we were out of DRS, I went for a move. I managed to get it done, and we're just, yeah, hitting each other all race. And in the end I went for a move, I think lap 29, and I kept on getting like a 9/10 gap out of the chicane. So I was nearly bridging DRS, but not just about not enough. But in the end I somehow managed to hold on a final lap, even with how powerful the DRS is. I used absolutely everything. I saw Nathan picking up the penalties as well, which I was like, oh, I'll just get P3, I'll be really happy with P3, and then I saw he picked up another penalty as well in the, I think the final sector or something it looked like, because I looked up and he had 9, so yeah, in the end, I managed to bring it home, and yeah, of course 1-2 for Alfa Romeo is pretty awesome, so.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo, of course, 1 and 2, which is absolutely fantastic, I think, from your perspective. Talk us through that battle, though, with Baraka, because obviously the final couple of laps, it was quite tense, and you eventually made that move, of course, for what eventually was P2. Did you ever feel that Nathan was going to pick up another penalty ahead of you and then waste away his chance of a podium?
To be honest, no, because, I mean, he didn't pick up a single penalty, or since his 3 second, he didn't pick up a single penalty for quite a lot of the race. From near the end of the soft stint we had, and it was until like the late 20s he picked up a 6 second, I think, and then I didn't expect him to pick up a 9 second so quickly after that, so yeah, it came to real surprise, but in the end it gave me a match with the result we were saying about pre-race. Yeah, the 1-2.
Yeah, fantastic race, of course, from you both. Michael, any questions?
Yeah, obviously, you did a good, pretty good first stint yourself on the soft tyres. I think everyone was at that stage. But when you got, we were very concerned when you got onto the mediums that, because you were losing time to Henry, even though he did the undercut on you on the medium tyres. So I was just curious, were you worried about your tyres on the mediums at all, because you weren't really close up to Henry as much, or were you?
It was just pace.
It was just pure pace.
Struggling for pace, really. I'd struggled for pace around Imola, to be honest, ever since it came out. So these kind of results is kind of pretty good, and I think this is a 3rd race around Imola so far in this game, and that's 3 P2s now. I finished 2nd every single time at Imola, so it's, yeah, really unlucky, or lucky, if you want to put it into that, but yeah.
Well, a nice little track for you, podium-wise as well. Obviously Nathan came out of nowhere to join the fight. Were you curious about Nathan? Do you think Nathan probably would have got your teammate at the end? Were you, what was your main target at that point when Nathan joined in at that last stage of the race? Were you going to just try and help Macho and just try and block him, or were you just focused off just trying to get the most points out of your rival of Baraka?
Well, seeing the penalty and how at the rate that Nathan was closing in, I knew that he wouldn't catch Macho in the end. I knew Macho had it covered. So yeah, it didn't take him long, but with fighting all over the place, of course we managed to hold him for one lap at me and Baraka. But yeah, in the end he managed to get away, and me and Baraka were having our own fight then. And saw Henry losing pace. Saw the podium. Pretty much the podium was what I was aiming for, but yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think with the last 2 laps, me and James, we just didn't know who was going to be on the podium because of the penalties for Nathan, but obviously with the soft tyres advantage, we're still strong at that point. And you obviously close up to Henry on the straight, but probably losing time in the corner, so we just didn't know what the result was going to be at the end either way. But with Nathan bowling it on the last sector, managed to secure your podium, not just a podium, but 1 and 2 for Alfa Romeo, and obviously getting more points over your rival, which is just, I think it's just a nail on the board for you, really. So congratulations on your 2nd place on that. And Russia next week, do you think you can repeat the same result?
Russia's like it's one of those circuits I heavily dislike, so I just aim for the points. But it's 10 races left, 11-point gap. Now time to bring it on to Baraka. Yeah, try and retain this championship if I can.
Well, we are looking forward to it, and it was an enjoyable race to watch for hopefully the two championship contenders. Unless Nathan comes out of nowhere, we don't know what happens in the next 10 races for you. Hopefully, it'll be very interesting between you. Yeah, that's the thing. Anything can happen. But yeah, congratulations on your 1-2 for the team, and you should be very proud.
Thank you, and cheers for the comms as always, guys.
No worries.
Very welcome indeed. My voice is going, by the way, so I'm going to have to try and rattle through these. Nathan, I think, is up next, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously a P4 finish from your qualifying band. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, quality, it was just amazing. What a lap. I think I timed it at like 3 minutes. Yeah. And then, yeah, the race, 10-1 was a bit, at 10-1 was kind of like, I had a good start. Obviously, got past T-Walk's ghost car. Actually, was he in his car? Or no? I couldn't really tell. I think he was still a ghost car, but yeah, got past T-Walk's P14, so I was up to like P13, P12. Obviously, Harmon and Rocco. Well, I think Harmon got that minute. I'm not too sure. He carried on, but yeah, up to P10 after like lap 2, and then it was just a case of trying to stay as close to the soft runners. I probably used a little bit too much ERS. Trying to actually stay with them. I think I went down to like 20% at one point because I made a mistake, but yeah, everyone just seemed to be making a lot of mistakes, which obviously was nice. But yeah, those mediums they were horrible.
Yeah, the mediums were absolutely horrible from your perspective, but obviously everyone was falling around you. You got up, I think, into 5th position at once as well. And I mentioned in commentary that if you stuck with the soft runners, you could have a chance of actually winning this race. Obviously, you made that switch onto the soft compound tyre. I think it was lap 20 or 21, where I said it would probably be the case. Did you ever feel that you could catch the leaders?
Well, I knew there was like 24-second gap, and I asked Campbell, like, what kind of is the best lap, and he said 20, because originally I was going to go like 22, I think, but obviously you kind of want the best amount of time to actually overtake, so I knew I was going to come out roughly 5 seconds behind Jensen and Baraka, and then obviously a further like 3 or 4 to Henry, and Macho, I didn't really even think about like even catching. I think in the end it was only 4 seconds, but it's still, even with like getting past Jensen and Baraka straight away, you want to change anything, so it was just a case of obviously not spinning on the softs, because Imola is interesting for that, but yeah, I think actually overall, considering didn't qualify, I think it was actually a good race.
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic race. You certainly get my Driver of the Day vote as well, which I've just put into the DLD poll as well for F1. I did say Macho originally, and then I thought, yeah, shall we just give him it because he had a qualifying ban?
Last to almost third.
Yeah, last to almost a podium, I think, to be honest. I think it's well deserved, certainly. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Not much really, because you pretty much asked the question that I was going to ask about, like, obviously where was your goal for this afternoon? Like, could you challenge somehow for the win, or probably a podium? Like, before the race, like, what was going through your mind before the race? Were you just hoping just to get to the end, or probably fight for maybe one of the big boys? Like, what was your situation going into that race?
I mean, when you have a new power unit, you've always got to go for it. Nah, I think, like, I never really thought about the win, but obviously, I mean, it's F1, like, anything can happen. And obviously, like, there was obviously a potential P2. But yeah, I think you've always, like, you can never count yourself out. Like, even if you have a 20-man grid, you still can never count yourself out from 20th. Especially at Imola, where yes, it's hard to overtake, bar turn 1, but it's so hard to actually keep on the track. And I think I drove past 5 people today that crashed from 15 people. So like that already narrows it down to 10, and then it's just like, right, so it's a 10-person shootout for the win. And at that point, you're kind of like, well, you've got a 1 in 10 chance of winning. And yeah, I mean, I was surprised actually how quick the softs were. I was not expecting them to be that good. I think it was rough. On average, it was like 1.5 seconds a lap, like over the top 4 medium runners. But yeah, I think before the race, I've always said like top 5 is the aim, like regardless of where you start. And I think like if you get there, I think you can call that a good result any day.
Yeah, well, I think halfway through the race, James said you could have probably won that race, because obviously Macho was catching you when you were in the lead, but not by much, and you had the very old medium tyres and he was still in the fresh medium, so there was a good chance you probably beat. I mean, I said you probably wouldn't win, but you'd probably be in the sights of Macho, so which you weren't too far enough. I think you were 4 seconds on track in the end, but obviously with those penalties near the end, I think you just send it a bit too early and got another 2-second penalty. But by the looks of it, because I did said like with that 6 seconds, you might as well go for it for those extra 2 corner cuts.
I may have bunny hopped the last chicane. I will not lie, which is why the gap opened to 6 seconds to Baraka. But yeah, no, it was never like after that chicane's horrible or pad anyway. And yeah, like as soon as I got the 6 second, I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to try something. But yeah, it was not meant to be. But I think in the end, it was gonna be like 4 tenths, like the gap to an actual podium. Even without like intentionally like doing
the gap.
So.
Yeah, the gap was like half a second, 3 tenths before you got that last second. But yeah, unfortunately for you. So yeah, I guess you took positive out of this, because obviously you had the pace and obviously the position you were in, you could have easily got that podium, which would be a triumph on itself. But unfortunately with the penalties, it set you back a little bit, but hopefully it still spurred you on for that insane drive. And do you think you can carry that on into Russia next week?
Yeah, Russia I've always enjoyed. I think in LOE this season I got a P3. Well, in weird circumstances, it was either P1, 2, 3, or 4. But yeah, I think it was, well, as long as it doesn't rain. If it rains, it's so boring. So as long as it's a dry race, it will actually be quite fun, and hopefully there's more drivers, because you obviously want to see a bigger pool of drivers and like see more action than like, I mean, today I think like certain drivers like just retired in the pits because there's no reason when they're still in the points. It's just a bit stupid. But yeah, hopefully more drivers and more action.
Well, who knows, I might be driving for you whilst commentating just to make up the numbers. But,
it's been done before, which is very interesting. But
no, congratulations on your fantastic drive, and yeah, I think you're definitely my driver of the day just for that insane speed yourself, and I think that was a good comeback from the disastrous race from last week.
Yeah. Well, hopefully no more of them.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your drive, and good luck for next week.
Thank you both for comms.
No worries.
Very welcome indeed, and now we will unfortunately move on to the man who finished in P10 and a lap down tonight. It is Mr. T-Hawk, and T-Hawk, obviously, we had a few issues in terms of the lobby. Your car totally jumped the start as well, if for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then you must have control of your car. Talk us through what I'm sure would have been probably one of the worst races of the season.
Probably one of the worst races I had in the last 3 years, so yeah, it's just disappointing, you know. It started in qualifying, where I actually wasn't looking too bad. I knew I could have improved by like half a second on my time, which probably would have put me somewhere in the top 6, top 5. And then, as I was coming through the second to last corner, just before my second run, suddenly my screen just froze, my wheel was pulling hard to the right, and yeah, at first I just tried to, you know, hope that I still have control of my car and just steer it off track. And then I just tried to rejoin, but most invites didn't work. Fortunately, Jensen then invited me, and his invite did work, so I was able to join with 1 minute left to go in quali. Couldn't do anything, couldn't look up the spectator menu, couldn't take control of my car, anything like that. Then in the information lab, I noticed that it's glitched out again, so I left, rejoined, and yeah, then I had the same issue that you saw, where at first I couldn't retake my car. I think I was already writing in the comments that I can't take control of my car, and I was pretty much accepting the fact, or trying to accept the fact that I won't be racing today. And next thing I see, it's just popping up in the top right, I press X, have a massive jump start, and then I just get put back on the grid, and from there on else, it didn't really improve.
Yeah, obviously one of those races, I think that was fought by just terrible luck, to be honest. I mean, obviously in terms of the glitches, we don't know what happened either. We were seeing the same things as everyone else, I'm sure, out on track. It's just one of those things, and I think it's really a thing that's came out of this recent patch update. Obviously, since they've added Jeddah, it's literally causing all sorts of problems with lobbies, and we really can't put down on what the actual problem is. It's certainly game related, but obviously we will have to try and do, of course, things for next week. But talk us through your race, because I saw you having a good battle with Rocco, and I think it was there was another driver, certainly nearly 3 wide, down the straight in towards Tamburello.
Yeah, I think that was like the only battle that I had all race. I mean, there really wasn't a single good moment for me in the race. Already at the start, I was so out of the zone when I got put back in the car. I didn't know, like, I just wasn't in the zone. I didn't know what the Red Bull sounds like, because I only had like 5 laps of practice in it. I didn't know if the game had reset my assists or not, because I suddenly had more grip on the start than I expected. But probably the worst thing of all was that my FPS were actually quite low. So I think my rear view mirror probably ran at like 5 to 10 FPS. And the game itself, which I think on PS4 usually runs at about 30 to 40-ish, was probably at like 20 to 25. So obviously that meant that I couldn't drive on the limit all race. I just had to be careful through every corner, because, well, if you don't know where your car is going to be in the next couple of milliseconds, then obviously you aren't willing to take the risk. So yeah, it was always destined for me to be at the back of the grid. Don't know if my spin and the front wing damage that I got on lap 1 made such a massive difference. I don't know if I should be happy about the fact that I got away with 1 point somehow, but yeah, it's just been really disappointing.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those races they can probably look at and just completely and utterly forget in terms of the season. Obviously, still carrying on that point score finish is still one positive that you can take out, of course, from the race. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
I mean, if I wasn't here, you probably wouldn't be finishing the points at all. So,
You know what I was thinking all race? I was wondering, what the hell is Michael doing? Is he giving me some kind of fucking curse or what? Why is his good luck not working this time? Because I had no luck all race. I don't know if that one single point can be on his lap.
I don't know, but the thing is, though, with all that issues and where you finish, I don't think that was your fault at all. Because I think it was just the lobby or the glitches itself. It just all suddenly just punted your way, especially at the start. And obviously, we didn't have any safety cars, so you couldn't really retain on that. So, yeah, you were pretty much just sitting duck, really, with having all these issues. So, yeah, it was just kind of a hard drive for you. I don't know if there's going to be anything coming out of this race, because obviously, yeah, you got a point, and a point's a point at the end of the day. You still get your points, scoring positions still continuing. So that's good enough to come away with, better than retiring. But hopefully you can move on from this race, and going into Russia, do you think you can put this race behind you and move on?
Yeah, I have to. Russia is gonna be my last race in this league. I don't know if it's gonna be period or temporary, but I'd guess period, so yeah, Russia just has to be better for me. I'm kinda lucky because I think I'm the only guy probably in this league or on the entire planet that actually likes to track, so yeah, hopefully that will be an advantage for me, but I know I'll just practice as always, try to stay out of trouble, and definitely won't host the lobby next week, and then hopefully I'll be able to have a somewhat decent send-off.
Yeah, hopefully we'll give you a nice send-off that you truly deserve, during a great service for FRL, and hopefully you get a good points finish and a good fight to send you off as well.
Thanks.
No worries.
And that is it, as my telly is going to turn itself off in 60 seconds time. We don't want that to happen, goodness me. That is the end, though, for tonight's FRL F1 stream. We really hope, of course, you did enjoy it. Eventually, when we did get underway, of course, the action was non-stop, out on track. And, of course, congratulations to Nathan on picking up Driver of the Day. And, of course, congratulations, of course, to our top three, who are, of course, Macho, Jensen, and Baraka, finishing first, second, and third in the end. Fantastic drive, of course. We will see you, of course, next week in Russia. F3 and F4 once again, 7 PM UK time on Monday, and then 7 PM UK time on Tuesday as well. It is F1 and F2, and really hope you can tune in for that. F2, by the way, did get a stream up. Ballboy was streaming on his end, so they did manage to get a stream up when I could see. It was quite an entertaining race, certainly a wet qualifying and that as well, so you can go and watch that after we finished here. But thank you so much for tuning in to FRL tonight, and we will see you, of course, next week. So for myself and Michael, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.